Hi guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to another Premier Division show. This time it's predictions time. If you're a follower of a First Division club, guys, I also do First Division shows as well. I won't be necessarily doing them every week, but every few weeks I'll be doing First Division shows too. Next week is an international break. There's no Premier Division football, but there's First Division football, so I'll be 100% doing a First Division show next week. If you're new around here, please subscribe as well. I know a lot of people watch the videos who aren't actually subscribed, so if you wouldn't mind subscribing too. If you'd like to be an Irish Footy Vlogs member, check the link in the description and the link in the comments. Onto the football. Now, at Sullivan and Lamb Park, Drogheda United will take on Shamrock Rovers. And if you're under a rock, if you are on the moon, if you lived in an igloo, whatever, and you're watching this show now and you have no idea what's going on in the League of Ireland, you might be surprised to know that after 5 games, Drogheda are 7 points ahead of Shamrock Rovers. You would probably think it was the other way around. But Drogheda are top of the league on 11 points, just in case you do live in an igloo, by the way. They've won 3 games, drawn 2, only conceded 1 goal. It's been a fantastic start for Kevin Doherty's men. Shamrock Rovers, some people might say a typical start, but a strange season for them because their seasons are so intertwined, aren't they, etc., etc. And they'd be delighted to get the first win of the season last week in St Patrick's Athletic. I still wasn't convinced by them, even though they won that match, if I'm honest with you. They have to show more in the next few weeks to convince me that they're going to possibly win this league, if I'm honest, overall. But yeah, it's a really interesting game at United Park. And we know the Shamrock Rovers are going to have a lot of possession for a number of reasons. First of all, they're generally good in possession, but second of all, Drogheda will let them have possession. That's what they've been doing, Drogheda, nearly all season, to be fair. The question is, can Shamrock Rovers break them down? Can they take the lead? I think that's the thing here in this game. I think if Shamrock Rovers are going to win the game, they probably have to go 1 up. I think if Drogheda go 1 up, Rovers probably get a draw out of the game at best. But yeah, it'd be interesting because obviously Waterford were top of the league the previous week and then got beaten 3-0 off the Bows. Suddenly, I don't know, it mightn't affect the players. It might affect the players. But suddenly you're top of the league and people are looking at you a little bit, aren't they? And maybe a bit of pressure on the players. The opposite could happen. They could embrace the challenge, in fact. So, with Drogheda, I feel like it would be the opposite, to be honest with you. Be interesting to see if Josh Thomas is back for this game. If he is, will he start? I think he starts out of Alua if he's back for this game with Warren Davis in behind him. Cooper played last week instead of Bolger, so it'll be interesting to see if Bolger comes back into the team, despite that obviously getting that clean sheet at Talca Park. And Rovers are still missing a number of players as usual, I suppose. But it'll be interesting to see if Danny Mandrew is back. Jack Byrne came on as a sub against Pats as well, so it'll be interesting to see if he gets more minutes. The same with Rory Gaffney too. He looked sharp, but it was only 10 minutes. My prediction for this game then, I'm sitting on the fence for this one. I think it'll be Drogheda United 1, Shamrock Rovers 1, and by the end of the night, Drogheda United will still be top of the league going into the international break. Let me know what you think in the comments. Give us your prediction. Now, my name in DC Park, I don't know if fans are necessarily aware, but fans of Galway United and Waterford FC will be aware. Galway have some record against Waterford recently, haven't they? 8 games. Galway are unbeaten against Waterford. In fact, you have to go back to that 3-0 playoff win for Waterford against Galway, obviously. And I'm pretty sure, just get the date up here, it's November 2022. Yes, I'm right. It's the 4th of November, in fact, 2022, and Waterford won 3-0 at Galway. Since then, Galway won 1-0, Galway won 2-1. There's been a 2-2 draw. Galway won 3-1. Galway won 2-1, a 0-0 draw. Galway won 1-0 and Galway won 2-1. So it's not just a case of Waterford having beaten Galway in 8 games. There's only 2 draws in there. It's unbelievable, isn't it? And Waterford have lost 6. Galway have won 6. Now, why is that, you might ask? Is it just coincidence? Is it a little bit more than that? Do Galway simply have Waterford's number? Now, they haven't had the same manager, Waterford, over that time period. Galway United have had the same manager, actually, over that time period, but I think whenever I see Galway beat Waterford, essentially, it'd be interesting to see what Galway supporters and maybe Waterford supporters generally actually think about that. Let me know in the comments. Why do you think, if you're a Waterford fan, you essentially keep losing to Galway? And from a Galway's perspective, why do they keep beating Waterford? It's the physical aspect maybe that Waterford struggle with a little bit, and there's no more physical team than Galway United. Waterford, if you look at just this season, I think when Waterford played their best football, it's been on the counter attack, hitting teams in the break, if I'm completely honest with you. By the way, in the comments, let me know if that's too bright or not, or if this is better. But yeah, and I think, can they do that against Galway United? I'm not so sure, to be honest. I'm not so sure they can do that against Galway United. Be difficult to do. Galway will probably try and let them have possession, which means that Waterford struggle to counter a little bit, I think, in the game. Be interested to see if Clark is back for Galway. I'm not sure he will be. Greg Cunningham should be back for the game, though. Yeah, it's difficult. This stage of the season, sorry, as well, I think with Galway United, I think Eamon DC pitch generally isn't in the best of conditions, so kind of does suit them a little bit more as such. Waterford, as I say, like to play in quick transitions, in my opinion, and hitting the counter attack. Ball play wing back system as well, but play different styles. It's hard to see Galway not overpowering them in this game, but like the week before, I said logically I couldn't see Bowles winning away to Waterford, but you never know. This could be the same, except the shoe in the other foot regarding Waterford. But I'm going to go for a Galway United win here. Galway United 2, Waterford FC 1. Give us a prediction in the comments. Now at Talca Park, Shelbourne take on Cork City. Cork City, unbeaten at home this season. Lost their only game away from home this season. Shelbourne haven't won in 3. They'll be very disappointed with that, to be fair. And they'll be very disappointed with the tempo generally they played in the last few games. And they'll be keen to start off and start very strong in this game, I feel. Cork City, hard to know what they're like on the road. As I said, they've only had one game and it's been a defeat. 3 games at home, though, and unbeaten. The key for me for Cork City is Bulger, particularly for a game like this against Shelbourne and Talca Park. Bulger and Maguire are probably out of the game, which are massive losses for them. Okay, Kid Nelson done well last week, he came in and done well, but Bulger gives you more experience, especially in a game like this, and you know they're strong in midfield. Shells will want to create more clear-cut chances. They need to get Boyd and Meepo in the game a bit more too, to be honest. How to do that? Playing a little bit quicker, maybe getting a few more crosses into the box towards Boyd. They haven't been playing with wingers as such, though. Shells generally, you know, the likes of Ali Coote has played wide, Evan Caffrey has played wide, Harry Wood has played wide. They're not what you call wingers, are they? To be honest, they do have wingers at the club, like Ryan Kane, Tulloch, Dan Kelly, though still injured, I believe. But so they do have the option to do that. I wonder if that's where to go. I don't know. Chapman has been in and out of the team as well, hasn't he? Trying to figure out where he fits in the team, I suppose, too. But it's important from Michelle's perspective that they get back to winning ways here, and be interested to see Cork's approach. Will they've looked at Drogheda the week before? But Drogheda are a machine. They know exactly what they're doing in the defensive type of game as well. They've different players to Cork City, and Cork tend to play different formation, different tactics. I do think we'll sit deep and try and hit them on the break whenever they can. And own the ball, give the ball to Shells basically. It's up to Shells to try and break them down. An early goal would be massive in this game if Shells could get it. If Cork got a goal and went in front though, might be a bit of tension around, to be honest. Talca Park, it's very early in the season. But of course Shells started out off last season like a house on fire. I think the Bulger Maguire thing is a big thing. I think if they were available, obviously it gives them a better chance, clearly. I think Shelbourne will get back to winning ways here. Shelbourne 2, Cork City 0. Let me know what you think in the comments. So the final game on Friday night, we'll get on to Saturday night in a minute, where it's a Dublin derby. This one's on Virgin Media as well. St Patrick's Leg take on Bohemians at Richmond Park. Now last season, Pats failed to beat Bohs at Richmond Park. It was 0-0 and 1-0 defeat. Bohs tended to do well in Dublin derbies last season for some reason. It's just arguably their best performance last season was at Talca Park when they won 2-1 as well. I was there for that game actually. This game, it's interesting. I do think Pats are the better team at the moment. Bohs had a great result last time out when they won 3-0 at Waterford. Much needed win for Bohemians, I think, and took a little bit of pressure off Alan Reynolds as well. Pats Be disappointed with the defeat at Rovers. They could have nicked a draw. If it was a draw, you wouldn't have said it was, necessarily undeserved, that kind of way. If they got a draw, you would have said, yeah, probably a fair enough result. So I'd be disappointed they didn't get the draw, actually, and just avoided defeat coming into the game. But I suppose their main problem at the moment, I see with St. Patrick's Athletic, is their problem in midfield. I think they've started the season with injuries in the same position, basically. Jamie Lennon doing his quad in a warm-up before the game against Galway, and he's been out. Forrester was probably rushed back in. He's done well, but now he's picked up a hamstring injury and he looks like he's out of the game on Friday too. Romal Palmer, another midfielder, injured. They probably could have done with bringing in another body in midfield, if I'm honest with you too. But Barry Bagley is there. He's only new. He's a good player, but he's played with so many different midfielders. He hasn't settled in yet. It looks like he'll be playing alongside Jay McClelland, who is an essential midfielder. It also means Pats haven't got any other options to change it in midfield either. So I wonder if they play similarly to the way they played against Derry, where they kind of let Derry have the ball a little bit and wait for the moment and hit them on the counter with the likes of Mulroney and Elbazetti. Wouldn't be surprised if they let Bowes have the ball. The likes of Devoy and midfield. What team are Bowes going to play though? They're the one team that have chopped and changed more than anyone else in the league. It's very difficult. You'd imagine the fact that they won 3-0 in the last game, that there'd be one or two maximum changes, wouldn't you? But they have an abundance of players in midfield. That's the funny thing. Who comes in there? You've got Morhan, who played centre back the last day, but you've obviously got Buckley, who I think will probably retain his place. Devoy, Tierney. He's lost his place this minute in time. Clark. There's so many players. Flores playing left back at the moment. Technically midfielder. McManus is still there. Adam McDonald's come into the side. I imagine he'd keep his place. So Bowles should have the upper hand in midfield. The question is, if Pats do let them have the ball and try and hit them in the counter, can Bowles open up a defence? They've been playing generally quite slowly, haven't they? It's been a bit passive, and maybe that's why I think Pats might let them have the ball with the lack of quality options that Pats have in midfield and try and hit them on the counter. It's going to be an intriguing game, actually, in that regard. I don't know. I think it's going to be tight, I think. I'm going to call it a 1-1 draw. Pats 1, Bowles 1. Let me know your predictions in the comments. Now on Saturday, the Bit of Red of Sligo Rovers take on the Candy Stripes of Derry City at the showgrounds. And Sligo had a good week last week, picking up 4 from possible 6. Derry City obviously disappointing from their point of view, drawn 1-1 with Galway United last time out, and bottom 2 in the league at the moment. Sligo Rovers 9 to Derry City 10. Sligo just ahead of them, goal difference, down on 4 points. But I talk about records with the Waterford and Galway game. Derry have a horrendous record against Sligo. 2 wins and 10 against Sligo Rovers, and one of those wins was 10 games ago as well. So they've had 1 and 9 essentially against the Bit of Red, and Sligo played with a bit of confidence there. I think Sligo still they've a lot of energy in their team, like players like Will Fitzgerald, Hikiki, Eldin, Hutchison at left back. There's a bit of energy in the Sligo Rovers team, and Derry City so far haven't coped when they've played teams with a bit of energy. They'd be more pleased with their performance against Galway. There was a bit more tempo in it, I thought. Michael Duffy's playing really well as well. I hope he's injury free generally, because he's started the season really well, Michael Duffy. But they did play with a bit more energy, a bit more zip against Galway. Lack composure, I think, in the final third though. But they'll be hoping to bring more of that energy into this game, and they'll have to. It's going to be a difficult game, and curiously, they struggled to score goals against Sligo Rovers, which is strange in the sense that Sligo don't set up to defend as such. You know what I mean? They look to attack teams. Even if they think John Russell thinks a team is better than their team, he still tries to look to attack when they can. So it's curious that Derry generally have struggled to put the ball in the back of the net against Sligo Rovers. Interesting game. Again, Derry, who did they go for up front? Did they go for Boyce Hooban? There's too many questions. I couldn't sit down. They're one of the few teams, Derry City, in the league. There's a few of them, but one of the few teams where I'd struggle to pick the best 11. I don't know what the best 11 is. And Tiernan Lynch is trying to, in fairness to him, figure that out. And he's changed systems of formations and other bits and pieces. Like they went 3 at the back again last week again and stuff. Can came in and played alongside Connolly and Holt, for example. Sligo 4-3-3. It's always 4-3-3. That's the way Russell likes to play and set up and wing play and that kind of thing as well. So intriguing game. I don't know. I still think Derry at the moment to me are not convincing. Now they could go and win 3-0 like Bows did the other week and surprise everyone, but I'm gonna go for a bit of red win here. Sligo Rovers to win this game by 1-0 against Derry City. Let me know what you think in the comments. So guys, that's it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Subscribe once again, please, if you haven't subscribed already. Make sure you throw in a few predictions. See you later. Bye bye.